So good afternoon, evening, morning, depending on where you are on Earth. I'm very happy to welcome you to this webinar, the second of the series. And this one will be about life sciences. I'm sure you registered because you're interested in that matter. We will very immediately, without any further ado, give the floor to the panelists, and then you'll have a chance at the end to ask questions. Please ask the questions in the discussion panel so that I can read them. The panelists can also see them, and they will answer the ones that they may have answer for. So without any further ado, Professor Nathalie Dodstani, I give you the floor for your presentation. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me to this presentation. So I'm Nathalie Dodstani. I'm a professor at Sorbonne University in Paris, and I'm happy to present you the doctoral school. I am deputy director. So just very briefly to present you, but I know you already heard about that yesterday. The PhD in France is both a training and a first research experience based on an innovative research project and on course that is to set training. So the PhD should enable the candidate to become an expert in his or her scientific field and to acquire also transverse skills, technical, organizational, relational, that could be transferred to other sectors. So the PhD is not, if you perform a PhD, if you obtain a PhD, you're not necessarily will be doing academic research after that. So we need to have a broad PhD. The doctoral school has structures in charge of most of the procedure of the PhD. And in our doctoral school, which is called Complexité du Vivant in French, but it's the complexity of life or something like that, the PhD should last for 3 years, not more. There is a possible extension for a fourth year. But in the school, in our doctoral school, the average length of the PhDs are about 43 months. We don't have registration for a fifth year unless there are really medical issues, and the PhD could not be longer than 48 months. So it's a kind of a short training. And the other important aspect is that financial support is mandatory for the PhD and during the whole length of the PhD. In France, the doctoral school are in charge of organizing the doctoral study. So they are in charge of organizing the recruitment of the PhD candidates, and we have a certain numbers of criteria, and I'm going to go through them in a bit. We should ensure the quality of the supervision by the thesis supervisor and make sure that everything from the doctoral charter is okay. We follow the candidates along their PhD, and for this we have a thesis committee meeting that can eventually be also biannual. So it depends on the committee and on the difficulties that eventually the PhD student will meet. We, of course, propose training useful for the candidate, research project, but not only. It can also be for the scientific culture and their professional project. We also try to organize scientific and intellectual exchanges between the PhD students, because that's how we like to get some life in our doctoral school. And we will help the PhD candidates for the proper preparation in their professional project. So the doctoral school Complexité du Vivant, which in short term is called CDV, is a structure that belongs to two different universities in Paris. One of them is Sorbonne University, but the other one is Paris Sciences Lettres. So it's a kind of a new university that was created recently, but that gather several institutes in Paris that are doing very high-level research. So there is here, I give you the internet link to the doctoral school website. So I mentioned that it's a French version and we are in the process of translating it. So, but one thing that you should not be afraid is that most interaction for the PhDs in labs are done in English. So for instance, myself, I'm leading a research team at the Curie Institute, and I have only very few French people in my team. So all our interactions are in English, and in the department, it's the same. So I really think the language is not really a problem, except in that case for the website of the doctoral school, but this is going to change. So the director of the doctoral school is Frédéric Deveau. So I gave you his email address, and I am, as I said, the deputy director, and I'm also referent for PSL University. So I'm professor at Sorbonne University, but the team I'm leading is in PSL. So I'm in both university, and here is my email address. And we have also an administrative office and an assistant, Samira, with some kind of a address for the doctoral school. So we like to have most exchanges through mails. So this doctoral school, and I think this is topics of today, is about life science, and it's life science at very, very large. So we are having people performing PhDs in genetics, genomics, and epigenetics, some that are performing PhDs in cell biology, developmental biology, microbiology, immunology, molecular biology, biochemistry, bioinformatics, structural biology, and evolution. So you see, it's really covering a very large part of the biology. So the doctoral school is organized around 175 research teams that are located in research departments affiliated either to Sorbonne University, so that's the SU that you see here, but also to PSL, the other university, also to the CNRS, INSERM, the Pasteur Institute, or the Curie Institute, for instance, where I am, which are all located on different geographic sites in Paris. So in general, in Paris, the sites are close from each other. But it is important also to mention that Sorbonne University has a marine station in the south of France, on the Mediterranean coast, in Villefranche or Banyuls, and also there is one marine station in Roscoff. So if you are more interested in topics that are linked to sea and environment, you might have a look at the marine station of Sorbonne University. So the doctoral school in this 175 research team gathered about 400 researchers, among which 300 are habilitated to be a PhD supervisor, meaning that they are holding an habilitation à diriger la recherche so that they can be your PhD supervisor. So we are having, every year about 350 PhD candidates, and the number is about 70 new PhD students recruited each year. An important aspect of the doctoral school also is that many projects and thematics, researchers and PhD students are at interface with other scientific fields, physics, chemistry, mathematics, and informatics. You all know that in life science, the current difficulties is the amount of data that we are gathering. And of course, all these connects disciplines are very useful. So we are having more and more interdisciplinary interactions. Another important aspect is that the school is very international because we have about 30% of the PhD students that are coming from abroad, which is a lot, and several of the PhD students are coming from India. And also, and this is related to the number of PhD students that we are hiring every year. We have about 70 PhD difference per year. That makes sense. Okay, so just I wanted to somehow give you some kind of an idea of how to find or to enroll to the doctoral school Complexité du Vivant. And what I think is the most important for you is to identify a person that would be your PhD supervisor. And that's a bit difficult, of course, because it's not always clear who is going to have eventually a financial support for your PhD and so on. So we have a list, again, on this web link. There is a list of all the teams that are affiliated to the doctoral school Complexité du Vivant. So this list is a bit difficult to read, but I have if I can go to the next, to the next slide. So here I zoom on one of them, and it's an example. I have no idea if this person is currently having a PhD position or what, but basically what you can look at is the department where this person is. So here in this case is the Centre de Recherche des Cordeliers. The subject, and I'm sorry, it's in French in that case, but it's dealing with a bacterial structure involved in the modulation of resistance to antibiotics. And the name of the team leader is Michel Arthur and Jean-Emmanuel Hugonnet. And the best, if you find out, you want to find out someone, is to just go to websites, because all these researchers, they have their own websites. And this is what I did in this particular case. I typed Michel Arthur and Jean-Emmanuel Hugonnet, and there I got the website where they describe their scientific and research project. So you can look at that, try to find out, because I think this is the most important. A PhD is not an easy task, and you need to be very motivated for your project. So you should go to the project you want to do. So, and then what I would suggest is to contact this person by mail, send a CV, a motivation letter, and discuss with this person PhD opportunity in his laboratory.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, just I will wrap up. But to start a PhD, you have you need to have a master degree, so it means 5-year studies after high school. Okay, and just so I know this is the most important, and this is what I said, the PhD, you need to have a financial support, and there are many possibilities to get financial support, and this is in general something that you should discuss with your PhD advisor. So the first step for me is find a PhD advisor, and then see with this person how you can find a financial support. We have financial supports from the annual competition at the doctoral school, but the PhD advisor can have research grant, can pay you. The PhD advisor can help you to apply to foundation to get financial support. And there are also a number of PhD programs to which our doctoral school is affiliated, where you can, of course, try to apply. And again, I gave you the web links to try to see. So, of course, these PhD programs maybe are not open at the moment, but during the year, they will have openings, and you can eventually discuss this with the person you identify. And
Thank you so much.
I'm done with that.
I think there are some questions for you, but we'll see that at the end. So can you stop sharing your screen?
Yes.
And I will give the floor now maybe to Professor Lefebvre-Delancourt from University de La Réunion, if you want. And then you can share the screen if you have a presentation, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you.
We'll give answer to the most of the questions at the end. Okay, don't panic.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, so let's put that in full. Okay, so thank you for the invitation. I'm Christian Lefebvre-Delancourt. I'm a professor at the University of La Réunion, and I used to be a lab director for 10 years, and I've been also the director of doctoral school for 5 years, and I'm still leading a master. So that's very great that Nathalie Dastani did the first presentation, because she went to a lot of things that I will not need to repeat. So that's good. I will more focus on my university that you may not know, because it's a university located in a very specific area, and we are located in Réunion Island. So it's in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and you can barely see the island on the map. It's around 5,060 kilometers from Chennai, and there is around 800,000 people on the island. If I zoom a little bit on the map, you can see that we are near Madagascar, between Madagascar and Mauritius, and even if we are in the middle of the Indian Ocean, we are part of France and part of Europe. So that's a European university in the Indian Ocean. If you want to come in this island, you will see that, as I said, it's part of France of Europe, but it's also a very nice, pleasant island. And even if that's quite remote from the mainland France, it's a very well structured. There's a lot of infrastructures, healthcare, road, industry, shops. Find everything as you will find in mainland France or in North Europe. But you also in a tropical island, so you have the seas, the oceans, the mountains, and a lot of very nice landscapes. Another thing that is specific about the island is that you have a very diverse population of people, and it's very easy to blend into the local population. We have two main campus. If I come back to the university, and we have a campus in the north and a campus in the south. And recently, we just opened a new campus dedicated to medicine health, and it's in the south also. And it's a brand new campus. The student will be allowed to go there in August, actually. So in these three campus, and other location, we have around 19,000 students. In addition to this campus, we have also some platforms with a lot of equipment that you can use to do research. We have biosafety level 3 for insects, cells, animals, and also animal facility for mice and zebrafish, and a lot of little tools you can play with to doing research. Coming back to university, we have, as I said, 19,000 students. We are dealing with a lot of international agreement, and we are quite involved in the international aspects. We have some recently just had a project with India, and it's a project oriented toward phytotherapy, and it's a master and a doctoral program. So that's something very exciting. We just started. And concerning more the life sciences, we have a number of masters, 3 masters with health, biology, ecology, and chemistry. And we have also 9 research laboratories in life sciences. So you can see that the size of the university is not the same as the previous one described. We are a middle-size or small-size university compared to Paris, which is a huge university with a lot of people. So it's really a matter of if you want to have a big environment or a smaller environment with a nice research, but it's a different way to do interaction. Because of the location of the university and the island, we have labs that are focused on aspects that are more related to tropical islands. So we have an infectious disease lab, a lab working on diabetes and cardiovascular disease, and some other lab linked also to the specificity of the island, like ocean ecology or protection of tropical plants, for instance. And so all that is, of course, linked to the location of the island, and make that you have some specific research going on the island. So we have 2 doctoral schools, and the one more oriented to life sciences is science, technology, and health. In this school, we have around 150 PhD students with 25 PhD per year. As it was said before, the main thing, or one of the most important thing when you want to do a PhD is to find some funding. And we have on the island a regional council that will give some specific fellowship, and some of them will be oriented for regional cooperation. So that will be a good opportunity for funding your research. After that, you have all the financial aspects that has been developed before. You can also try to get some funding from your country and come to our university. That will be fine. I think that has been said before, but that's yeah, you need to have some credits to that in our doctoral school. You need to have some credits to get the possibility to defend, and you also need to have a research analytic integrity training. That's the same for every PhD in France, and we have some relatively flexible requirement for the research part with at least one research paper, and the duration and mean at our doctoral school is 3.5 years. So the standard is 3 years, but you may have sometimes some extension because in biology it's not very easy to get a PhD in 3 years. If you come to our island, we'll have some people that will welcome you at the airport. You will have some also welcome at the university. And once you're a student, you will have access to all the things that a student can do in the university, cultural activities, sport activities. You will have access to health services and libraries and all those things that you can find in a university in Réunion Island or in France. Of course, you can also study French. So that's very important. That's something that I will come back to a bit later, but I already have some students from India, and it's important for them to learn French. So there's all the possibility to learn French at the university. A specific aspect on the Réunion Island, we have an Indian community, a relatively large Indian community with about around 1/5 of the island population. They are not Indian national, but they are people coming from India a while ago. So they are still doing the region. So you have temple. We have every year the Deepavali celebration. There is also some fireworking and a lot of Indian activity. But you have to to understand that these people have been in Réunion Island for more than 100 years, and so they don't speak anymore Hindi or Tamil. They just speak French, but they still do the traditional ceremony and things like that. And just to finish my personal experience with Indian student, I supervised around 10 PhD students, and from that 3 were from India. My first PhD student actually was from India, and after his PhD, he did a postdoc, and then he came back to India. He was associate professor in Vellore Institute of Technology, and now he's associate professor in Central University of Technology. And 2 other students that I mentor, one is in a postdoc, still in postdoc. He did get a Marie Curie fellowship, and the last one had a complicated PhD with the COVID. She took 1 year of sabbatical, and now she's starting to look for a postdoc. But just to give you some feedback of what you can get and what we can get from a student from India. And just to finish, that's a picture from the island, from the plane. You have a lot of tropical fruit. You have a nice beach. We can and also a lot of marine fish and things in the lagoon. And it's a volcanic island, so you have an active volcano. And recently, the national park has been World Heritage by UNESCO. So again, it's a very nice island. And I will stop there. And
thank you so much. It's an unfair promotion. I mean, you end up with these images. So I think nobody can resist. And I must say, it's my island as well. So it's a good promotion.
You're welcome to come anytime.
Can you undo the sharing of the screen?
Yeah, that's
so thank you so much. We can move to the third panelist, Laurent Counillon, professor in Nice. One word, I must say that the 3 of you have one point in common. Your universities are part of the FrancoIndian Campus on Health, which is why we decided to club you together to talk about it. And this initiative links French universities, yours, with Indian universities. So it's interesting also for the audience to know that there are some links, and the strong links on health and life sciences And you should check about it in the months to come, because there will be programs for that. Laurent Counillon,
Yes, I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. I don't know what happens, but my camera had stopped working. I tried to restart the Zoom. It doesn't work either. So I'm sorry you don't see my face, but I shared the screen. Yes, it seems to. Can you see my screen now?
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, so sorry about the mishap, and I don't dare to change the whole
no, please go on.
The whole computer. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do for the PhD at our university, and basically, do you see the screen still well? Is it okay for everybody? Yeah. So
yes, okay.
Yes, okay. So I think what is important, it was already said by Natalie, our colleague, is that PhD is training by research, and also what is important is that in this you both learn a lot, and also you participate in building knowledge that is extremely important for teaching to students, for getting job, and for getting the societal improvement. So it's really I think one of the most important part in life. And for young scientists and for students. So quickly, Nice, we are situated in France. We are close to the coast is not as spectacular as La Réunion, but we are on the seaside here, and we are an university with about 35,000 students, more than 500 diploma, and we are scattered on 12 campuses, mostly because the land is very expensive. One of our particularities is that we are, as many of our colleagues who are labeled Initiative of Excellence, IDEX universities, here for, I think, mainly two reasons. We are really research intensive and in life sciences and other fields. And also we set up a system where we're very closely linked training with research and innovation in the building of our university. And we are really connected also to artificial intelligence, because we are one of the 4 institutes in France for artificial intelligence. I'll talk about it later, but we are labeled for FrancoIndian Campus. We are a member of a European Alliance, and also we have several other kind of excellence distinctions. Coming to the life sciences perimeter, we have about 80 teams, I would say, that are scattered in 9 laboratories and institutes that are all along the coast. Here on this Google map is the city center of Nice, and we have labs and campuses on the 2 big hospitals area, in the science campus, and also in our Antipolis Technopole, that is one of the largest technopoles in Europe. So that represents about 1,000 life scientists, including postdocs and research scientists, technicians, and so on. And we have a little bit more than 1,000 students and about 200 PhD every year who are in these different teams. And so as a result, what we cover is on the subjects. Nice grew a lot on molecular mechanisms of life, and now we encompass, of course, genomics, cell biology, microbiology, immunology in our different teams, developmental biology, aging, neurobiology. All that, when it goes wrong, leads to the study of many diseases that we do with the hospital as well, the hospitals, and so clinical, and also we have clinical research teams and plant ecosystems and plant biology. And we're also now with our Artificial Intelligence Institute and our labs in math, physics, computing, a lot on modeling and computational biology. And of course, we are linked to these different French large research organisms. And we have, as I said, many partners in the math, physics, computing, and so on. We also have developed since the past 5 years, I think, partnerships with companies, all in our perimeter, in our technopole of Sophia Antipolis, but also big pharma, where we have colleagues and friends. And so this is about our ecosystem. Now, a lot has been said about the PhDs, but quickly, I go back, all our PhDs, they must have a full salary. Full salary is, I would say the order is what stays in the pocket at the end is between 1,500 and 1,800 or 2,000 euros per month. And this lasts for 3 years as a funding. Tuition fees are very minimal. So what is taken as tuition fees is nothing compared to the salary, and often it's waived. It's waived because students work at the university. And the access to these fellowships, of course, like in any institution, it's competitive. And we have got in the past the same very nice stories of excellent Indian students in our labs. And you are very welcome all to apply. Usually the applications are in the spring. And of course, as my colleague said previously, you need to find a project and supervisor and a lab first, because it's you have to defend very strongly your project to get this kind of fellowships. So there are university and government classical fellowships. We have usually they are focused on biology, but we have 3 interdisciplinary fellowships per year that connect biology with math, computing, physics, chemistry, and so on. There are possibilities of fellowships with companies, and also some can be paid by other bodies. Some labs have internal fundings for PhDs, associations for like cancer, the different kind of disease can also fund fellowships. The region can fund fellowships. So all that is you have to look with your supervisor and project and to see to which fellowship you can apply and compete. And one interesting stuff is that you can also teach mostly undergrad students once you're a PhD student, and you earn a little bit more then, and it's quite fun for young PhD to teach to undergraduate students. Now, as PhD students, you have to receive a training. In our place, it's about 90 credits. That would be about 90 hours, and you can take it's very modular. Basically, you do almost whatever you want. In terms of disciplinary content, you can take modules from our master that are in English, attend national, international conferences. It can be validated AI training. There are specific PhD training modules, and also we have organized with our graduate school and our partners. So summer and winter school. I show you 2 examples. This is one that we have that was organized by Paris-Saclay, but we have a partnership where our students can apply on therapeutic innovation for our PhD students. And every year we organize winter schools, 1 to 2 a year, that can be used for training for PhD students. The one that we'll have in December next December will be on aging. And also we have international partners that through our networks, and you can go there and also attend their schools for PhD training. Concerning support, of course, you have personal support. The health insurance is included in the PhD salary. You can have access to the restaurants, library, transport system, and so on. You have professional and personal development courses that you can take that will count in your training. And also there are plenty of events at the university, workshops, sports, and so on, student association. And of course, during your PhD, you are guided. It's by law. You have follow-up committees that with colleagues that will see how you work, and there are also PhD students. There's many things, and also what we are really keen on organizing is mobility through our international partnerships.
I think we lost the sound.
So we have one Europe partnership that is named Ulysses with, as I said, they do schools and things like that where you can go, and we have funds for that. We are launching a partnership with an American network that is a student-led organization for building and training future bio-innovators and so on. It started at Harvard University, and most of the great American universities, Harvard, Yale, Berkeley, Stanford, and so on, are in there. And we are one of the international chapters here in France. And there's a huge amount of events and networking with all these people from these great institutions that you can work with if you have at a PhD in Nice. And to finish, as Fabien mentioned, we 3 are here, but we are one of the Franco-Indian campuses with hubs in Delhi and Bangalore that are kind of same I would say organization with higher education institutions and connected to Technopole and clusters of partners, and it's under construction, but we are quite advancing well. And here also they are already starting summer winter school workshops and so on, and online modules and travel funds, and that will be available for within the campus, but also for the partners of the campus members. And I think that's pretty much where we are. So here I've been putting my email address as the head of the graduate school, but you will have also you'll have a link to our website, and also where the site where you can find all the PhD projects for application. And I'm really happy to be here and to reply to your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your presentation and for all presentations. I think we will go by the questions that are there and not already answered. So a lot of questions about the specialties. One question about having in immunology, do you have autoimmunity? I think the question was for you, Nathalie. Oh, you're mute.
Yeah, I think there are. I mean, I have to look in the list of all the labs that are connected to immunology in our list. But I think
it must be part of so many
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
same in Nice. We have, including in my own lab, we have labs working on auto-inflammatory diseases and like Crohn's disease, whatever that goes with autoimmunity. There are plenty, I think, in all our places. Yeah.
Another question. I want to start as an interesting one, because then we can elaborate on the approach. I want to start medical microbiology. How can I approach? So who wants to answer that? Someone asked how it can relate to you.
Yeah, so I was trying to answer it by writing. I don't think, I mean, the complexity du vivant doctoral school in which I am is very fundamental. So it depends how much medical and microbiology it is and the balance. So there are also doctoral schools that are more medical, which could be maybe more appropriate. So it's not completely clear to me what means
I think Christian and Laurent maybe have more on that matter.
Yeah, maybe I can. Okay, Christian, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Right, you started. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a lab working on infectious disease and microbiology, and it's located in faculty medicine, but it's not totally medical microbiology. So try to understand how the pathogen will interact with the host. So I'm not sure it's exactly what it's asked there. Not sure.
But there is some research to be done by the audience as well to better understand how the things are done at universities. Laurent, you wanted to add something on that?
Yes, it's the same. We have one team in one of our institutes connected to the hospital that is working, I would say, basically, let me see if I can find exactly their name. Yeah, it's on microbial virulence and connected to the inflammatory processes that are triggered by infection. So in this case, so it's health and microbial infection. So I guess this may to some extent fit to medical microbiology, but it would be on one very specific part, is how you react when you're exposed to a pathogen.
There's another question about the existence of doctoral programs in the field of botanical science at Sorbonne University specifically. I would say that there is something at the museum. If you want to.
You're right.
But the museum is no longer part of the.
No, well, the museum is part of the alliance with Sorbonne University, so it's connected somehow. But yeah.
So maybe the advice we can advise the person here to go by the Muséum d'Histoire Naturelle.
Yes.
Maybe in other universities there would be more. I think in La Réunion, your project in the Franco-Indian Campus is with botany as well, botany and AI somehow.
Yeah, so
applied to pharmaceutical needs.
Yeah, it's try to find in the plants some compounds that will be useful for medical approach. So it's not totally botanical, but
totally,
we are going to use plant to help in health sciences.
Okay.
And that's a big part of most of the lab are working in life science will try to use the plant for that, trying to find some application.
Yeah, in this, I can add that we have on the Sophia Antipolis Technopole, one of the largest, I would say, INRA, which is the National Institute for Agronomic Research institutes there. I think it's about 200 people, and they are studying mostly plant pathogen interaction and all the from the molecular and cellular mechanisms to the way you can really work on that for plant health in general. And we didn't include it in the Franco-Indian Campus because it was obviously really agronomy and stuff like that, and plant focused, and not much on health and human health focus, but they have excellent facilities and PhDs.
Another question from Videsha. It's interesting because it talks about the way students can move from one domain to another. Could you tell about direct PhD in neuroscience after bachelor in chemical engineering? So is it do you see those kind of changes often, like coming from one ground and going to another, or is it something that is not usually accommodated?
So I would say that it's possible, right? I mean, because chemical engineering can be linked to neuroscience. I mean, just like even synapses and and molecules that bind to synapses can be. So the most important, and this is what I said from the beginning, is to find someone working in neuroscience to which that you can convince that your background can be helpful for his research. Right, and why not? But this needs to be maybe a bit connected to chemistry or something like that. But there is a connection. I mean, in the doctoral school, I was speaking about the Complexité du Vivant. We have a lot of interdisciplinary teams. Some of them are linked to chemistry. So there is no reason why it could not be possible. But it needs a bit of search.
Yeah.
It's not so easy, I guess.
A lot of questions. Yeah. One, I'll pick up on the point. We cannot answer all the questions, and I need to keep 1 minute to show you one tool that will help all of you to find actually some of the things that you are looking for. There is a question about from Ananya, who says, I'm an Indian national, but pursuing my master's in UK right now. What will be requirements for admission? So someone who is actually having a master's in UK.
Yeah, okay, so it depends. Yeah, so the masters in UK in general are 4 years, 4 years after high school. Is it correct? I mean, because this is one of the mention I had. It's to enroll a PhD in France, you need to have 5 years of studies after high school. And in general, the masters in UK are a bit shorter. So we agreed to enroll PhD students that have done a master in UK, as long as after their master, they have something like 6 months experience in a lab. So at Sorbonne University, we have this rule, but it's some kind of an exception. So it depends if the master in UK is 5 years or 4 years.
Yeah, same in Nice, I would say. Exactly the same configuration.
Yeah.
Quite
so it's possible, but or you need to have some research experience after.
Okay. Maybe I will. You want to take another question from the list? Maybe the one that is.
It's a lot of.
Maybe the three of you, one can pick one question, and try to answer it swiftly. There are questions about computational biology.
Yeah, how can I apply in bioinformatics?
Bioinformatics.
Yeah. For this, we as we are we have hosting one of these artificial intelligence institutes. There are dedicated fellowships every year for PhD in computational biology. So at present, we have there's an open position for one, and we every year we have them. And we also have designed interdisciplinary fellowships. Just to reply also to the question with the same on the chemical engineering, we are very happy to welcome students who come from another background, provided that the project is excellent and that the student can really defend the project, because it's very competitive. We have many applications.
Christian, you want to pick one question particularly?
Maybe not one question, but there's a lot of question about different specific topic research. And what I would suggest is for them to look at the website of the different university, because looking at all the website, you will find that almost all the fields are covered. Yes. So neurodegenerative disease, bioinformatics, what I see, gut microbial relationship with neurodegenerative disease, all that must be addressed by some labs in one of the university. So if you have the time, just go ahead and look on the website. You will find one lab working on these specific topics.
So maybe there is a Runav Pal who has a question, which is, what if my PhD work needs more than 3 years? Will I get any extended fellowship? So the answer is that, of course, as I said, there is a derogation for a 4th year, but you need to find financial support, and this you will do with your PhD director. And there are fellowships that are possible to get from foundation. Eventually, your PhD director will have fundings to pay you for a 4th year or this kind of thing. So there are many possibilities for the 4th years.
I would like to just to wrap it up. Thank you so much again. Many questions were about content of research, also, of course, but also about the funding. Many questions were raised about the structure of the funding of a PhD moment or time in France. I think if you have questions related to the funding, to scholarships, you can always contact Campus France India. That's quite easy. There is a website. You can contact us. But I would like to show you something. Maybe you can do also your homework with this website. It's a platform that is accessible. If you see that now, you just have to type the address that you see above, Doctoral without the E because it's a French word, .campusfrance.org. Okay, and the website is in French or in English, as you can see, and it's pretty easy to navigate through the domains. If you want to go through biology and health, and if you're interested, I say all these numbers here are the sign of an opportunity of either a doctoral contract or some internship. So you have just to dig into it. If you want to do cell biology, for instance, then you'll be driven to all these possibilities. And what is interesting in the way it is displayed, it comes directly from the École Doctorale, doctoral schools, from the labs. If you click on one of them, say this one, it's totally random. I hope it works. Yes. Then you'll get the addresses, the website where you can find the program itself, and most of the time you'll get also contact of the person who is responsible for giving the ad on the platform. So this is true again for each and every small number you see here. Those are the doctoral schools, and when you go for computer science, you got these numbers which are the sign of something happening there. Okay, and it is updated all along the year. So this is what I wanted to show you, because if you go to that website, many of the questions will be answered already. And the second thing would be to contact, going through the links that were displayed by our panelists, to contact the universities themselves, to try to find a supervisor, a mentor. I see many students writing to head of labs, to researchers, and well, maybe sometimes you won't find an answer because people are busy sometimes, but most of them got an answer, and some of them even found their supervisor by just contacting, going through some tools that the ones the panelists have shown, like the doctorat.campusfrance.org website, or just by reaching out to Campus France India. Okay, so we are going to close that webinar. If you want to have a last word, I mean the panelists, because you are the kings tonight, and I would like you to say maybe something to close your presentation and to address the audience.
Yeah, maybe if I can add one thing,
Yes,
I've seen
sure.
many questions coming to I have this and this in my CV. Do I have the qualification? So as we said, basically in the French system, you would need a master that would be 5 years or equivalent of that, and then it's really a question. As my colleague from Paris said, you have to find a supervisor, you have to find a project, and providing that your CV has not been a disaster, then it's more about the discussion with the supervisor to see whether it fits well, and then you have to apply for the fellowships, and then it's up to you. But those are the basic requirements.
I think we got your message, Laurent. Very important. In India, between India and France, we have a mutual recognition of degrees, and to get the minimum requirement to get to a PhD, it's very important what you said, is to have a master's degree that is recognized in India as a national diploma. That's it. 5 years, yes, absolutely. So this is very simple. Then after that, it's a question of matching with the project, with the research, with the content, with whatever you've done. Maybe Christian, you want to say some last word? Swiftly?
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity for Indian students to come in France. It's just a little bit hard to find the fellowships, the funding. But once you have that, it's a very nice experience. But the hard part is to find the funding, and that I think they understood that now.
Yeah. So Fabien, is it possible to share our presentation with the students with all these links?
I think the website, this presentation is recorded and will be shared.
Okay, perfect.
For everybody to access it. I think so.
Yes.
Yes, great, perfect. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the audience. We reached the number of 1 and 10, I think, at one stage. It's wonderful. I hope you got information that you were looking for. Maybe not exactly all, but then you have to do some homework. It's just an incentive for you to go and explore the tools that have been mentioned by the 3 panelists. Thank you so much for the 3 of you. For your availability, and I hope to see you very soon in the context of the FrancoIndian Campus. You might have to come to India and meet the students directly. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, and it was a pleasure. Goodbye.
Yes.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Bye.